Think about it. How many times have you felt like the world should stop and notice your pain? How many times have you wished that someone, anyone, would look at you and say, I see what you're going through, I understand, I care. But let me tell you something hard, something real. The world doesn't stop for your struggles. It keeps moving. People wake up, go to work, live their lives, and sleep peacefully, unaware of the battles you fight. You may be crying yourself to sleep at night, feeling broken, feeling lost, but outside your window the city lights still shine, the cars still pass, the clock still ticks. Life does not pause for your problems. It does not slow down because you're hurting. And that truth, it can break you or it can build you. Too many people let it break them. They let their struggles define them. They sit in their sorrow waiting for a helping hand that never comes. But there is another way. There is a choice. You can take that pain, that loneliness, that feeling of insignificance, and you can turn it into fire. Because if no one is coming to save you, then you must save yourself. God gave you breath in your lungs. He gave you a mind, a body, a purpose. Not so you could sit and wait for the world to care, but so you could rise, even when no one is watching, even when no one claps for you, even when the road feels endless and the nights feel cold. Because the truth is, the world doesn't owe you anything. It does not hand out success. It does not hand out peace. It does not hand out happiness. These things must be fought for, earned, built with your own hands, through sweat, through discipline, through relentless, unshakable work. So if you are waiting for someone to feel sorry for you, if you are hoping that the world will suddenly turn its eyes to you and recognize your struggle, stop waiting. Stand up, move forward, because while you're waiting for someone to care, someone else is out there working, building their dreams while you sit in the shadows. And the question is, when the time comes, when the world finally looks your way, will you still be sitting, waiting, hoping, or will you be ready, standing strong, built by the very struggle that once tried to break you? There's something powerful about being ignored, something fierce about being underestimated. When no one believes in you, when no one claps for you, when no one even notices your effort, that is where the fire is born. That is where something deep inside you begins to rise. Something stronger than words, something greater than approval. Because if nobody cares, then you have nothing to lose. And when you have nothing to lose, you become dangerous. Think about it. If no one expects you to win, then there's no pressure to impress them. You are free. Free to fail, free to learn, free to grow, and free to push yourself beyond the limits that others have set for you. Because now, it's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about becoming the person you were meant to be, not for applause, not for recognition, but because there is something inside you that refuses to settle for less. God does not give us trials to break us. He allows them to shape us. He lets us walk through the fire, not so we can burn, but so we can be refined. And that pain of being overlooked, that pain of feeling like no one sees your effort, it is fuel, it is power, it is the very thing that if you let it will drive you further than you ever imagined. You see, most people quit when they feel unnoticed. They stop pushing, stop striving, stop believing, because they think their effort doesn't matter if no one acknowledges it. But that's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. The ones who win, the ones who rise, are the ones who work even when no one sees. They push harder when they feel forgotten. They go further when they feel ignored. They use rejection, silence, and indifference as the very thing that fuels their fire. And when the world finally turns its head, when they finally see what you've built, they will call it success. They will call it talent. They will call it overnight achievement. But you will know the truth. You will know the years of unseen work, the hours of grinding in silence, the moments when you wanted to quit but didn't. So don't pray for people to care. Don't wait for their approval. Take their silence, take their doubt, take their indifference, and turn it into the energy that drives you forward. Because when you do, when you stop seeking validation and start seeking greatness, nothing and no one will be able to stop you. How many dreams have died waiting for permission? How many lives have been wasted waiting for someone to say, yes, you are good enough. Yes, you have what it takes. But let me tell you something. If you are waiting for the world to validate you, you will wait forever. If you are waiting for someone to come along and say, I see your potential, I believe in you, You may never hear those words. And that is why you must stop waiting. Look around you. The people who have built great things, the ones who have carved their names into history, they did not wait for approval. They did not sit around hoping that someone would give them a chance. No, they stood up. They walked forward, alone if they had to, and they created their own opportunities. They believed in themselves when no one else did, and that belief, that unwavering, unshakable belief in who they were and what they were meant to do, that was the difference. You see, God did not put you here to live in the shadows of someone else's approval. He did not create you to be dependent on the applause of others. He gave you a purpose, a calling, a fire inside of you that does not need permission to burn. So why do you wait? Why do you hesitate? Are you afraid they won't approve? Are you afraid they'll laugh? Let them laugh, let them doubt, because at the end of the day, their words, their opinions, their judgments will not build your future. You will. Too many people waste their lives begging for acceptance, bending to fit into places they were never meant to be. But you were not called to fit in. You were not called to be comfortable. You were called to rise, to stand, to step into the life you were created for, regardless of who supports you and who does not. If you keep waiting for someone to tell you it's your time, you will miss it, because the time is now. The permission has already been given, not by man, but by God himself. And the only question left is, do you believe it? Do you believe in yourself enough to stop waiting and start working? Because the moment you do, that is the moment everything changes. There is a lie that too many people believe, the lie that success belongs to the talented, the gifted, the lucky. But let me tell you the truth, success does not belong to those who are naturally great. It belongs to those who refuse to stop. It belongs to the ones who work while the others sleep, the ones who push forward when the rest have given up, the ones who keep moving when the world tells them to sit down. You see, talent without effort is nothing. Potential without discipline is wasted. It is not the strongest who survive. It is not the smartest who rise. It is the ones who endure, the ones who show up day after day, even when they don't feel like it. Even when the road is long, even when the reward seems distant, they press on, and that is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Because when the pain comes, and it will come, most people quit. When the struggle gets real, when the weight of the journey feels unbearable, most people turn back. But the ones who outwork the rest, the ones who push past the breaking point, they are the ones who see the promised land. They are the ones who taste the victory. The Bible says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. That means you don't work for applause. You don't work for approval. You don't work for recognition. You work because you were made to build, to create, to push beyond what you thought was possible. You work because deep inside of you, there is something greater that will only be unlocked through the fire of persistence. So ask yourself, how hard are you willing to go? How far are you willing to push? Are you going to stop when it gets tough, or are you going to dig deeper when others turn back? Because in the end, it will not be the most talented who rise. It will be the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who outworked, outlasted, and outfought every excuse, every setback, every reason to stop. And when the world looks back, when they try to understand how you did it, they will call it talent, they will call it luck. But you will know the nights of work, the mornings of sacrifice, the battles you fought in silence. You will know that you got here not because it was easy, not because it was handed to you, but because you refused to be outworked. And that is what makes all the difference. There will be moments in your life when you will be rejected, when doors will slam shut in your face, when people will look at you and say you're not good enough, you don't belong, you'll never make it. And in those moments you will have a choice. You can let those words define you, break you and bury you, or you can let them fuel you, strengthen you, and shape you into something the world cannot ignore. Because listen to me, pain is not your enemy. Rejection is not your end. These things, as painful as they are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to forge you. God allows trials not to push you down, but to lift you up. He allows struggle not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because if you cannot endure the weight of rejection, if you cannot bear the sting of failure, then you are not yet ready for the weight of success. You see, every person who has ever done something great has walked through seasons of pain. They have felt the loneliness of being misunderstood. They have heard the laughter of doubters, the criticism of those who never dared to try. But instead of running from the pain, they used it. They turned it into strength. They let it shape them, sharpen them, and prepare them for the battles ahead. Too many people quit the moment things get hard. They face rejection once and assume it means they weren't meant to succeed. They stumble once and think they are unworthy of greatness. But let me tell you something, the struggle is part of the process. The rejection, the failure, the setbacks, they are not signs that you should give up. They are proof that you're in the middle of the refining fire. And if you do not quit, if you keep pushing, if you keep believing, you will come out stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you ever imagined. The Bible says we glory in our sufferings because suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. That means that every hardship you face is producing something in you. Every rejection, every painful no, every lonely night, it is shaping you into a person who cannot be shaken, who cannot be stopped, who cannot be defeated. So do not fear the pain. Do not run from the rejection. Let it drive you. Let it push you forward. Let it be the very thing that turns you into the person God always intended you to be. Because one day, the very thing that was meant to break you will be the thing that made you. Time is the most valuable thing you have, more valuable than money, more valuable than talent, more valuable than any opportunity that may come your way. Because time is the one thing you can never get back. Once it's gone forever. And the question you must ask yourself is this: what are you doing with it? So many people waste time waiting for motivation, waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to push them forward. But while they are waiting, time is slipping away. While they are making excuses, while they are scrolling, while they are putting things off until tomorrow, someone else is out there working. Someone else is grinding, building, growing, moving forward while others stand still. And that is why the difference between success and failure is not talent, it is not luck, it is what you do with your time. You see, every day God gives you the same 24 hours that He gives to everyone else. The great ones, the champions, the leaders, the history makers, they don't have more time than you. They just use it differently. While some sleep in, they rise early. While some waste time complaining, they take action. While some live in fear, they step out in faith. The Bible says, make the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. That means you don't have time to waste. You don't have time to sit around waiting for the perfect conditions. You don't have time to let fear hold you back. Because time is moving, life is moving, and the only question is, are you moving with it? Some of you have been saying for years, one day I'll start. One day I'll change. One day I'll go after my dream. But let me tell you something. One day is not on the calendar. One day is the lie that keeps you stuck. One day is the excuse that robs you of your destiny. There is no one day. There is only today. There is only right now. So what will you do with it? Will you waste it? Will you throw it away on things that do not matter, on distractions that drain you, on excuses that keep you small? Or will you take hold of it? Will you use every second, every minute, every hour to build something meaningful? Because at the end of your life, when you stand before God, you will not be judged by what you wanted to do. You will be judged by what you did with what you were given. And if you're not careful, you will wake up one day and realize that the time you thought you had is gone, that the opportunity you thought would always be there has passed, that the life you were meant to live has been buried beneath a pile of wasted days. But it does not have to be that way. You have a choice. Right now, in this moment, you can decide. You can choose to stop waiting, to stop making excuses, to stop letting time slip through your fingers. You can choose to rise, to move, to step into the calling that God has placed on your life. Because the time is now, the moment is here, and it will not wait for you. There comes a time when words are no longer enough, when explanations, excuses, and promises lose their weight, When the world no longer listens to what you say, it watches what you do. Too many people spend their lives talking about what they're going to achieve. They announce their plans. They proclaim their goals. They tell the world, just wait, you'll see. But the world does not wait. The world does not believe in words alone. The world believes in action. You see, the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is simple. The successful let their work speak for them. They don't need to convince people that they are serious. They don't need to explain why they are worthy. Their results, their discipline, their commitment, it does the talking for them. That's why the Bible says faith without works is dead. It is not enough to believe in yourself. It is not enough to have dreams, visions, or good intentions. If your faith is real, if your vision is real, if your purpose is real, then your actions must reflect it. And if they don't, then maybe you don't believe in it as much as you say you do. Because listen, success is not found in empty words. It is not found in social media posts, in grand declarations, in moments of temporary motivation. It is found in the work. It is found in the quiet hours, when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one even knows what you are doing. It is built in the dark, in the unseen places, in the moments when you choose discipline over comfort, when you choose persistence over ease. And when the time comes when the world finally takes notice, it won't be because you told them to look. It won't be because you demanded respect. It will be because you became something undeniable. Because your work, your effort, your results left them no choice but to recognize what you have built. So stop explaining yourself. Stop seeking validation. Stop trying to convince people that you are worthy. Just work. Work in silence. Work with focus. Work with the knowledge that in the end, the world may never give you the credit you deserve, but God sees. And when the time is right, He will reveal what has been hidden. He will elevate what has been planted in secret. And when that moment comes, there will be no need for words, because the evidence of your work will speak for itself. There will be moments in your journey when you feel tired, when the weight of your dreams, the burden of your struggles, the sheer effort it takes to keep moving forward will make you want to stop. And in those moments, you will hear a whisper in your mind saying, it's okay to rest. You've worked hard enough. You deserve a break. And while rest is good, while recovery is necessary, the danger comes when that rest turns into complacency. Because here's the truth, discipline is what separates those who reach their destiny from those who never do. It is not passion, it is not motivation, it is not talent. It is the daily, relentless discipline of doing what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. It is waking up early when the bed feels warm. It is putting in the extra hours when no one is watching. It is staying faithful to the process, even when there is no immediate reward. You see, too many people start strong but finish weak. They begin with fire, with energy, with excitement. But when the results don't come fast enough, when the journey takes longer than they expected, they slow down. They let their emotions dictate their effort, and before they even realize it, they have settled for less. But the Bible says no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful later on, however. It produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. That means discipline is not supposed to feel good in the moment. It is not supposed to be easy. But if you stay consistent, if you stay faithful, if you keep showing up when everything in you wants to quit, you will reap a harvest. You will see the reward. That is why you cannot afford to let your feelings control you. Feelings will lie to you. Feelings will tell you that it's too hard, that you should quit, that you can start again tomorrow. But discipline doesn't listen to feelings. Discipline shows up anyway. And when motivation fades, when inspiration disappears, it is discipline that carries you through. So ask yourself, are you being led by emotions or by commitment? Are you choosing what is comfortable or what is necessary? Because in the end, your results will not come from what you wanted to do. They will come from what you did daily, consistently, relentlessly. And if you can master discipline, if you can train yourself to work when you don't feel like it, to push when you're tired, to keep going even when everything in you wants to stop, then nothing and no one will be able to hold you back. Because discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. And the only way to cross it is one step at a time, every single day without excuse, without hesitation, without compromise. There will always be people who doubt you, people who look at you and see nothing special, people who will remind you of your past, of your mistakes, of all the reasons why you should not succeed. And if you listen to them, if you allow their voices to settle in your heart, you will start to believe that they are right. But let me tell you something. They do not decide your destiny. The world does not get to tell you who you are. Your past does not get to dictate your future. The only one who holds your future is God, and He has placed something inside of you that no man can take away. You see, the world loves to put limits on people. They love to say, you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, you're not connected enough. But history has proven over and over again that the ones who rise, the ones who do the impossible, are the ones who refuse to listen, the ones who refuse to be defined by the labels others placed on them. Think about David, just a shepherd boy, overlooked by his own family, dismissed as insignificant. But when the time came when Goliath stood before him, it was not the approval of others that gave him victory. It was his faith, his courage, his unwavering belief that God had prepared him for that moment. And I am here to tell you, you do not need their approval. You do not need their permission. If God has placed a fire in you, if He has given you a vision, then it does not matter who doubts you. It does not matter who walks away. It does not matter who refuses to believe in you. Because the only belief that truly matters is the one you hold in your heart. The belief that says, I was created for more. I was made for this moment. And no voice of doubt, no whisper of fear, no criticism or rejection will keep me from what God has called me to do. Too many people let the opinions of others define their limits. They shrink themselves to fit into the small expectations of those around them. But you were not created to fit in. You were created to stand out. You were not designed to live a life dictated by fear, but a life fueled by faith. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them say what they will, but while they are watching, while they are waiting for you to fail, you will rise. Not because they believed in you, but because you believed in yourself. Because you believed in the God who placed a purpose inside of you that cannot be silenced, cannot be stopped, and will not be denied. There will come a time when you stand at the edge of everything you have worked for, a moment when the dream you have carried, the vision you have chased, the purpose that has burned inside of you will be within reach, and in that moment you will hear a voice of doubt, a voice of fear, a voice telling you that you are not ready. Because fear always rises at the doorstep of destiny. The closer you get to the breakthrough, the louder the voice of fear becomes. It will remind you of every failure, every mistake, every moment of weakness. It will tell you to turn back, to stay where it's safe, to let someone else take the risk. But let me tell you something today. The only way to silence fear is to walk through it. The only way to defeat doubt is to step forward in faith. You see, so many people stop just short of their calling. They fight, they struggle, they push through the pain. But when they finally get to the moment of stepping into the unknown, they hesitate. They listen to the lies that say, what if you fail? What if you lose everything? What if you're not enough? And so they shrink back, they stay small, they settle for a life less than what they were created for. But not you, not today, not now. Because you are not created to live in fear. You are not called to play it safe. The Bible says God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. That means fear is not from God. That means doubt is not your master. That means insecurity does not have the final say. Because when you take that step, when you walk forward in faith, even when the path is unclear, even when the risk is great, God meets you there. He opens doors no man can shut. He makes a way where there was no way. And suddenly the thing that seemed impossible, the mountain that seemed too high, the battle that seemed too great, it crumbles before you. Think about Peter stepping out onto the water. The storm was raging. The waves were crashing. Everything around him screamed, "Stay in the boat." But when Jesus called him, Peter didn't wait for the storm to stop. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He stepped out. And for a moment, he walked on water. What about you? Are you waiting for the storm to pass? Are you waiting for the perfect moment? Are you letting fear hold you back? Because if you are waiting for certainty, if you are waiting for the fear to disappear before you take action, you will be waiting forever. You do not overcome fear by waiting. You overcome fear by moving. You do not defeat doubt by thinking. You defeat doubt by doing. And the truth is, God has already given you everything you need. He has placed inside of you the strength, the wisdom, the courage to do what He has called you to do. But He will not force you to move. That is your choice. That is your moment of decision. So what will you do? Will you let fear paralyze you? Will you let doubt steal what was meant for you? Or will you rise? Will you step out? Will you walk forward, knowing that the same God who called you is the God who will sustain you? Because at the end of your life, you will not regret the chances you took. You will regret the ones you didn't. You will not regret the moment you stepped out in faith. You will regret the moment you let fear win. So now is the time. Not tomorrow, not Sunday, not when you feel ready. Now. Because fear is a liar. Doubt is a thief, and you have been called for more. So take the step, walk forward, and never look back. And so, my friend, the choice is yours. The path has been laid before you. The call has been placed upon your life. And now it is time to decide, will you shrink back in fear, or will you rise in faith? Will you settle for a life of mediocrity, or will you embrace the destiny that was written for you before the foundations of the earth? Because hear me, nobody is coming to do the work for you. Nobody is coming to hand you success. Nobody is going to believe in you more than you believe in yourself. But if you are willing to work, if you are willing to stand when others sit, to push forward when others quit, to keep moving when everything in you wants to stop, then there is nothing and no one that can keep you from what God has called you to do. The road will not be easy. There will be storms. There will be battles. There will be moments when you feel like giving up. But you were not created to break. You are not designed to live in defeat. The same God who parted the seas, who shut the mouths of lions, who raised the dead, He lives inside of you. And if He is for you, who can be against you? So now is the moment. Now is the time. Not next week, not next year, not when you feel ready. The time is now. Work harder. Push further. Give more. Step into the life you were meant to live, not because it will be easy, not because it will be handed to you, but because you refuse to settle for anything less. And when the world looks at you, when they ask, how did you do it? How did you overcome? You will not have to say a word. Your life, your work, your results will speak for themselves. Because you will not just be someone who dreamed. You will not just be someone who, you will be someone who did.